You know, we are at this profound crossroads in human history. Seriously. One path leads to some really irreversible damage to our planet, but the other, well, that one could lead to a rapid, incredibly positive transformation. Today we're digging into the Global Tipping Points report to really understand this critical choice we're all facing.
So, let's just ask the big question right up front, right? Are we doomed? Or are we actually on the verge of a massive breakthrough for the better? The science, believe it or not, suggests it could be either one. And the outcome? Well, that depends entirely on what we do next.
Okay, so to get this, we have to understand one core concept, a tipping point. The best way to think about it is like a line of dominoes. You can nudge that first domino a little bit and nothing happens. You can nudge it again, still nothing, until you push it just past that critical little point and then bam, the whole line goes down in this rapid, self-propelling chain reaction. That's a tipping point.
Now here's what's so wild. This domino effect can work in two totally opposite directions. It can be a negative thing, pushing our planet's life support systems towards collapse, or, and this is the exciting part, it can be a positive thing, triggering a whole cascade of solutions that speed us toward a safer, better future.
So, let's start with the part of the story that really demands our attention, the planet's red lines. Scientists call these Earth system tipping points, and they are basically thresholds we really do not want to cross.
So here's the deal. Several of our planet's most important systems are already showing signs of instability. This table just lays out a few of the big ones. Think about the Amazon rainforest. If we push it too far, it could literally tip over into becoming a dry savanna, releasing just a mind-boggling amount of carbon. Or look at the Atlantic Ocean circulation, the AMOC. If that thing collapses, it could plunge parts of Europe into a deep freeze. And these aren't some far-off theories. They are active risks we are dealing with right now.
And to make this even more real, a shift in that Atlantic circulation could completely disrupt the South Asian monsoon. And the number of people whose food and water security depends on that monsoon? Over 2 billion. The scale of these domino effects is just staggering when you think about it.
And this really gets to the core warning from the report. The risk here isn't just about, some damage we can fix later. It's about irreversible change. Once these dominoes fall, you can't just set them back up. The stakes are, and I'm not exaggerating here, existential.
Okay, so that's the scary part of the story. It's pretty heavy, but it's only half of it. What if we could take that same powerful dynamic, that same cascading, rapid change, and flip it on its head? What if we could intentionally start a domino effect for good?
And this brings us to what is, for me, the most hopeful idea in this entire report: positive tipping points. This is where sustainable solutions don't just add up one by one, they multiply. They become these self-propelling engines of change.
The logic is actually pretty simple, but it's totally profound. Instead of this slow, painful fight for every single inch of progress, we can create the right conditions where positive change starts to feed on itself and just accelerates. It's not about forcing change, it's about unleashing it.
And the best part? We are already seeing this happen. Take a look at this number. That is an 84% drop in the price of lithium-ion batteries in just the last decade. It's staggering. And why did it happen? Well, it was a perfect storm of huge investment, economies of scale, and smart government policies that basically created a massive new market. This one thing, cheaper batteries, is a huge first domino in a much bigger chain reaction.
And just look at what it's doing to solar power. This chart, it's not a straight line going up, is it? It's a curve that's rocketing skyward. Right now, we are doubling our global solar capacity every 2 to 3 years. This isn't slow, plodding change. This is what a positive tipping point looks like when it gets going.
Okay, now this is where it gets really cool. Tipping one domino can knock over a whole bunch of others. So those cheaper batteries, they make electric vehicles affordable for millions more people. Boom! Then those same EV batteries can be used to store cheap solar and wind power, which helps solve renewable energy's big storage problem. And that cheap, clean electricity? Well, now we can use that to create green hydrogen, which in turn helps us clean up heavy industries like steelmaking and fertilizer production. It's just this beautiful cascading wave of solutions. All right, so if we know these positive cascades are possible, how do we actually make them happen, on purpose? How do we intentionally tip the world in the right direction? Luckily, the report gives us a bit of a recipe.
It turns out that this kind of rapid change often follows a pretty predictable pattern called the S-curve.
It starts out slow in the emergence phase with just a few innovators. Then it hits this acceleration phase where something called reinforcing feedbacks take over. So what does that mean? It's basically a virtuous cycle. Think about it. As more people buy electric cars, more companies build charging stations. The more charging stations there are, the easier it is to own an EV, which encourages even more people to buy one. See? That feedback loop drives exponential growth until finally the change stabilizes and just becomes the new normal.
So, how do we push a new solution up that S-curve faster? Well, it takes a whole team effort. Governments need to send really clear signals, saying, this is the direction we're going. The financial world has to step in to lower the risk for new technologies. We have to build the right infrastructure, like EV charging grids. And critically, it takes coalitions of ambitious businesses, citizens, and activists, all pushing in the exact same direction.
But let's be honest, tipping a whole system isn't just about pushing the new thing forward. You also have to overcome the incredible inertia of the old way of doing things. You're fighting against decades of infrastructure that's locked in, powerful political lobbying, and just deeply ingrained social habits. But at the same time, you have these incredibly powerful forces for change on your side. Everything from citizen movements to strategic legal action that can literally rewrite the rules of the game.
And this is where it all comes together. We are caught in this incredible moment right between the immense risk of those negative tipping points and the amazing opportunity of the positive ones. This isn't some problem for the future, this is our present reality. It's a moment of choice that's defined by urgency, yes, but also by justice and incredible opportunity.
And let's be really clear about something. This isn't just about swapping out one energy source for another. What's so powerful about this whole transition is its potential to build a much better, much fairer world. Cheaper, distributed energy can lift people out of poverty. More sustainable food systems can fight hunger. This is an opportunity to solve multiple crises all at once.
So here's the bottom line. The science is telling us two things with equal clarity. One, we are staring down the barrel of permanent, system-level changes to our planet if we're not careful. And two, we hold in our hands the ability to trigger a positive cascade of solutions on a scale and at a speed we have never seen before in human history.
That choice between those two very different futures, it's not up to someone else somewhere down the road. It's here, it's now. We're all standing at that first domino. And the only question left is, which way are we going to push?